All right, so hello, Queen Mab. How you doing? Welcome to your secret code name reading. We're going to get right into it. We're going to look at where you were pre-eclipse and where the eclipse is moving you post-eclipse. All right, and getting you some guidance from Goddess Kali as to why, right? Why the feminine is making this shift for you, the lesson of it all, right? That if you could heed the guidance, you'll be able to move forward just fine, right? So we're going to look at pre-eclipse and post-eclipse and why the shift happened so that you can learn from it moving forward so that you don't have to repeat anything, right? So what is going on? What insight, please, Spirit, pre-eclipse for those who resonated to Queen Mab at this time? What is going on pre-eclipse? We've got the Ace of Wands, Two of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, Justice, and the Wheel of Fortune. Give me one more. And the Four of Wands. Okay. Bottom of the deck is Temperance. Top of the deck is the Ten of Cups. All right. Queen Mab. So pre-eclipse, we've got the Ten of Cups on top, which is the happy family in the middle of the storm, right? This is pre-rainbow and alchemy going on. So you may be dealing with or have been dealing with family issues where things were not happy, right? The conditions of life surrounding the family were less than ideal. You know, you and a group of people who are truly connected to each other may have been going through a very hard time, and there's been an alchemization process going on. So there was this inspiration inside the storm to make the ideal become the real, right? With the Ace of Wands and the Two of Pentacles, knowing that life has things up in the air, but that it required effort in order to make things balanced, right? The Eight of Coins is talking about more work needing to be done. Out of the Eight Pentacles, he's got 5 of them done, and there's still 3 more to go. You know, there's a lot of work being done in life to get yourself into the happy stability of the Four of Wands, right? The ultimate vision, the achievement of the celebration, right? That the Wheel of Fortune would turn from the storm that the family is in to the celebration of the family, right? To get you guys where you want to be. So there's been a lot of work that you've put in to reach the happily ever after, right? That you've always kind of pictured, but never really got to experience, right? The Ten of Cups, you might have had a family situation in the past that was unfortunate. Family dynamic or situation in general, that life surrounding the dynamic shifts were unfortunate. And finally getting to this place after putting in all of this work to have reason to celebrate and move forward, you know, that you would be able to go on a vacation, so to speak, from the storm, right? So you've been through a lot and you've put in a lot of effort because you recognized back whenever, right? You recognized at one point that a lot of work had to get put into something in order to make it better. And whether it was the same family dynamic becoming better, or doing a lot of inner work so that you could manifest a happy vision with, you know, whatever family dynamic shifts you had going on, or a different one altogether, right? That you could put in the work needed to get you where you need to be inside your own mind, picturing something worth celebrating again. You know, the Four of Wands is a card of visualization. The Suit of Wands is about visualizing, and it's about getting to this pretty picture that you might not have been able to see for a long time. You know, you could finally see yourself being happy or your family being happy moving forward. So it's definitely been a journey up until this point. You know, with Temperance on the bottom, the alchemical process of it all, before you stand up and start to do the alchemy, you know, they're taking a knee inside the body of water and getting what they need from the well, right? The spiritual well deep within the earth, right? Deep within the self. And the angel within us starts to work with the stuff that was buried deep down there in order to make it better. So where you've been leading up to now, I could see that you've gone through quite a process and have put in a lot of work to get to where you are. You know, you wanted to make things right. You wanted to make things fair. You wanted your fate to change. And so you've done the work. So where are you then post-eclipse? Because you've obviously put in a lot of work to get out of the storm, right? Put in a lot of work to get out of the storm. You can even see, like, looking at these cards, gray skies, gray skies, gray skies, gray skies, gray skies, justice, blue skies, yellow skies, right? The sky becomes brighter and more clear. There's no more gray, right? You've put in a lot of work to get this justice out of the storm. So where are you then post eclipse? Insight, please, for Queen MAB. Secret coding Queen MAB. Wheel of Fortune. Out twice now. The Hierophant. The Lovers. Major Arcana. Judgment. What else? The Hermit. Really? Look at all that Major Arcana. And the Eight of Cups. All right. Bottom of the deck is the Page of Wands. Top of the deck is the Ten of Swords. Okay. I think you've had to lay a lot to rest. I think throughout this process of getting justice, there's had to have been a lot being laid to rest. You may have even gone through or had to wait for the passing of certain people in order to get the ball rolling, right? Reinventing the self and kind of almost taking on a role like the shepherd is kind of how I'm pulling on that Page of Wands energy. It's letting go of old pastures for greener pastures, It's reinventing the self. The Page of Wands is all about the reinvention of the self. And I think that no matter how much you identified with a certain family situation before, it's not necessarily what you pictured for yourself. And you have your own journey. You know what I mean? You have your own journey despite everybody else. You have a path that takes you away from inheriting the same life cycles, right? You're not meant to live and die on the family farm, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like, even if the farm was passed down from generation to generation to generation, and every generation to come was going to be a farmer on that land, it's like you were always guided to be somewhere different, though. It was just your path, right? You weren't meant to be there. You were meant to be somewhere else. And so I think that post eclipse, that Wheel of Fortune, because you're visualizing here, right? The justice comes in, the Wheel of Fortune hits, and you're visualizing something else. And so post eclipse, that Wheel of Fortune is really having you look at your beliefs and what you're committed to teaching other people, right? You're making a choice here that your feminine is extending wisdom to your masculine, right? That your heart space is extending wisdom to your mind and bringing up the inner child, right? The man and the woman that are typically in the coffins here are skeletons. They're definitely laid to rest, but the inner child is rising, right? The inner child is rising. The mind and the heart of the inner child is rising. The hermit has found the snake in the darkness. You know, the hermit goes on this journey, this solo journey, to go through the dark night of the soul and find the trauma, right? Well, you found it. You found the snake. You've searched inside the most remote, dark places of yourself, and were able to claim power over your demons. And you're looking at the path paved before you from people before you and seeing how unfulfilling it really is, right? The feminine is looking at why the masculine figure left, right? The figure in the typical Eight of Cups cards is back here. He's left the Eight of Cups all spilled, and the heart space is seeing why you don't actually want to stay put. Why you don't want to repeat the life that other people have lived and said, it's a good life. See, it's a good life. You'll be happy in this life. And you're like, why don't I believe you though? You know, if it's such a good life, why don't I want it? Like, why is it not a fuck yeah? You know, why is it a, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. And so you started digging, right? You started digging within yourself because you saw all of the storms that the family went through prior. And you're like, I don't want to experience those storms. I have a different vision. And you started going through the inner work. You started doing the process, right? The alchemical process within the self to heal out of the repeating ancestral karma, the repeating family patterns of settling in something that's all right because it's better than what others deal with. And even though that may be true, it doesn't mean that there's not something even better than that. So you've reached huge milestones, right? Huge milestones within yourself. And this lets me know that you're officially breaking some kind of familial generational karma Like, you're the curse breaker, right? You're the ancestral karma breaker. Like, you're not going to repeat the same shadows over, which is a big deal. It's a big deal. And I think that, especially if you've had to release certain figures or had to wait for the passing of certain figures in order to move forward, that you're finally at this very pinnacle, very climactic, very divine milestone moment where your fate's finally changing, right? So let's get some guidance from Goddess Kali as to why all of this transpired the way that it did, so that you can move forward from here. And we've got 𝗦𝘂𝐴 Kali. 𝗦𝘂𝐴 Kali. Card number 30. All right, then. Really look at the moon cycles on that card. It's kind of cool. Let me read some for you. Secret code name Queen MAB. 𝗦𝘂𝐴 Kali. It says, 𝗦𝘂𝐴 Kali, she calls us away from the world to journey inwards, where a path of sacred introversion beckons. Turning within may feel natural or unfamiliar, but in journeying within, you will gain energy, insight, and freedom from the constraints of what has been. Allow that which needs to end to do so, and you shall realize you are not being denied, but released. There is something new on the horizon. Honor your losses, but keep faith in your heart for what is meant to be. Kali 𝗦𝘂𝐴 is the cycle of the waning moon, from the moment just after the height of the full moon into a phase of decline, right up until the black moon just before the new moon initiates the building of a fresh cycle. This phase embodies the natural magic inherent in letting go and allowing for the energies to run their course and die away. It can be a sign to embrace the qualities of decrease for a period to bring a cycle of experience to completion and generate what is necessary for the next cycle to be more abundant and nourishing than the last. Given our societal preoccupation with constant activity and outwardly driven connection, honoring 𝗦𝘂𝐴 Kali requires the use of our will to honor our soul rhythms above peer pressure. There can be resistance to embracing the crumbling away of a form once cherished, yet in doing so, we can give proper burial, allowing for cleansing emotions, perhaps anger, sadness, loss, or grief in the face of betrayal, disappointment, or confusion to move through the soul. Then the space for higher understanding, healing, and even forgiveness and gratitude for what has been learned can open up. Peace and release follow, and soon after, a readiness for the new. To hold space in the liminal or between times, when something is no longer, and the superior evolution beyond a mere replacement is yet to be, requires wisdom and courage, for you have been in the liminal. Inner processes need to take place beneath a cover of darkness, privacy, and sanctuary. You do not need to parade your process before others, nor prove anything to anyone. This is a time of natural inward motion and decline. It is healthy and can be enjoyable. Relish relished as a chance to clear out and free yourself from unnecessary burdens of mind and body. If you are not used to letting go, or believe you must constantly be quote unquote on, then this is a chance to expand your psychological and emotional vocabulary. Allow for the divine wisdom of the soul to do what it does so well. Provide the method and process for healing transformations. If you are used to controlling everyone and everything, consider this a chance to step back and allow others to develop their power and responsibility. 𝗦𝘂𝐽𝐫𝐿𝐼's message is to give yourself time and space to truly let go, as this ending is divinely intended. You shall receive abundant blessings that will more than replace any loss or suffering you've experienced through the conclusion of a life phase. If you have been in a period of loss or grief, the oracle indicates that this is coming to an end, likely sooner than you realize. And yet you're invited to allow it to find its completion naturally rather than trying to rush it to an ending. This oracle also predicts a closure around a matter of deep soul healing. Trust yourself and your divine timing. You will instinctively sense when you are ready to put the sad days behind you and embrace the beginning of a happier time. No matter how unlikely that seems at this time, it will happen naturally, as sure as spring follows winter. The oracle asks you to give the more challenging emotions, such as grief and sadness, honor and place. Do not avoid them, but do not allow them to consume your entire being or believe that they shall rule your life forever either. If you feel your hands are tied and you are unable to exert your will in the world at this time, do not fret. Often before a time of significant fruition, there is a period when nothing much seems to be happening. You are attending to your inner work and strengthening your vision and intention, but where is the evidence and result of your hard work? It is building within the soul, just as powerful energies build unseen within the seed, ready to spring forth with unexpected and astonishing strength and vibrancy when the time is right. Let go of force, but do not give in to despair or a feeling of defeat. Any cycle of holding back or lack of external support for your inner work will end, followed by a new era of divinely mandated manifestation. You know, if you've been in a place where you have felt quite powerless to the circumstances of life for a while, that's ending with this eclipse. The powerlessness up against life storms is absolutely ending because you've been doing the inner work. And as much loss or grief that is possible in the letting go, you know you were always meant to watch it end so that you could also witness the dawn of a new day, the dawn of the next chapter, right? Where you went from feeling powerless inside the storm to witnessing the rainbow, to learning where other people may have fallen short in their own history, which led them to the sufferable, stormy state that they were in, so that you don't find yourself in the same situation at the end of yours, right? Finally, freedom. Not just for you in this life, but for those who carry the torch after you. And it's something your soul will not forget. You will never find yourself stuck in a storm the way other people have. You're finally going to be free of that. And that's what's coming. I think you're learning by observing and are now being gifted with the opportunity to be free of all of that and lead a different life, a happier one for sure. Because if you've put in all of this work and the pieces are finally falling into place, even if that means that certain other pieces needed to fall away, I think you're finally able to resurrect the authentic self that you really always wanted to be. So I have faith that this reading has caught you in divine time and is definitely a positive outcome compared to some of the other readings that I've done already. It's a very positive outcome because there's a lot of freedom here. There's a lot of authenticity here and a lot of promise of happiness and stability and joy and celebration. So look forward to life. You've put in the work and you deserve to reap the reward of it all. All right. My love and support is with you always, and I will catch you next time. Take care.